Hello, Jesus people. Today on God Talks, I'm going to talk about the difference between man and angels pertaining to the heavenly promise of being saved. Okay? Of course, the angels have their glorified body and man doesn't, so they can travel, obviously, and they can choose to either be visible or invisible. That'll happen to man when we receive our glorified body and we go to heaven with Jesus Christ. Okay, then man will be much more like the angels. Then, beginning, God had His angels, and He created them, of course. But we have to remember that all life was in Him from the very beginning. It even says that we were with Him from the foundations of the earth, so we were there somewhere. I guess it's like being asleep or something, but we were there. Okay, we weren't consciously aware. Okay, so at one point, He created and made us and the angels consciously aware at different times. From what Genesis says, it seems to suggest that the angels He created first, and then He created mankind after He created the earth and the heavens. Beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth and created the Garden of Paradise, He put man in the Garden of Paradise so that man would tend the garden. That was man's job. But when man saw the tree and the fruit, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, man ate of it. Okay, and so because of man ate of it, God had to send him out of the garden, and God put an angel with a flaming sword by the entrance, so that man could not re-enter the garden and eat, because there was another tree of life, and if man ate, he would be in the unredeemed form forever, for all eternity. God knew in the beginning that man was going to be tempted. God figured that out. I mean, it didn't guarantee that man was going to do the wrong thing and be tempted. However, God pretty much knew the temptation was going to be there, and so God had to make some kind of a way for man in case man was tempted and ate the fruit. So God made the way of redemption, okay, for man. It says, by one man we fell, and basically by one man we're redeemed, the man God Jesus Christ, a perfect sacrifice. So that was God's plan the whole time. If you notice that there was never any redemption created for angels. See, there's a difference between angels and man, okay? It's because angels were already in their transfigured form and already in heaven with God, so they already know all the mysteries, and they know all the treasures, and they know what all the battle is about, especially after Satan fell and the battle became real between light and darkness, between love and fear. And of course, Satan, being one of the most beautiful, influential angels, he managed to take a third of heaven with him. And there's no redemption for those angels. Okay, here's another difference between mankind and angels. So, of course, mankind doesn't have its transfigured body yet, like the angels. You know, the angels can be invisible, visible at will. Okay, and they can astral project and go places. So men aren't like that. We're not that way until God redeems us physically off of the earth. Okay, He's already redeemed our spirits. Now He's got to redeem us physically. And then we come back to rule heaven and earth with Him for 1,000 years in the New Jerusalem. About the angels is they ride horses, which is interesting, just like Jesus. And they ride throughout the earth and the world. And then they come back and they report to God. They report to Jesus. He says, hey, what have you found in the earth? And they say the earth is quiet and still. And so they come and report to God. And that's one of the jobs that the angels do besides protecting you, because everyone has an angel. Apparently, when angels are in physical form, it's very hard to tell the difference between them and mankind, because there's many references in the Bible. Okay, one of them is to be a good host or hostess, because you never know if you have entertained an angel unaware, being that you're not going to know the difference between them and man, okay? And there's been so many others, like when the angels came and talked to Abraham and they went to Sodom and Gomorrah to get Lot. I mean, people couldn't tell the difference. So angels and humans are very similar.